So here to talk through this Cross the Streams puzzle by Murat and Tonta. The theme is 1, 2, 3, and as we're going through this week, we're adding another digit into each of the clues. Yesterday's puzzle was just 2 of 3, and now it's 1, 2, and 3. In this 10 by 10 grid, we've got 6 shaded cells in a lot of these clues. The first 6 rows and columns have 1, 2, and 3 in some order. Those 6 shaded cells have 2 unused cells between them, so 8 cells specified, so there are 2 degrees of freedom still. That actually means in a space where we've got, for instance, 1, 2, 3 being filled in, one of these cells, just the cell from the 3, is known, because 3 minus 2 degrees of freedom means one cell is there. So this 1 could start here, it could start here, or it could start here. In doing that, the far extreme is that this first cell or last cell, depending on how you want to see it, of the 3 is always known. When we're going through this 3, 1, 2, this cell is always known. 1, 2, 3, this cell is known. 3, 2, 1, this cell is known. 1, 2, 3, this cell is known. 1, 3, 2, this cell is known. And that's sort of if you put in the most compact form or the most extreme form, the cell that's at the end of the most compact form. So 1, nothing, 1, 2, 3, this cell is known. So that's sort of how to mark in the forced cells for these 3s. Coming across, we can do the same thing. 2, 3, 1 would be here. 1, 2, 3 would be here. 3, 2, 1 would actually go in here. And here's a place where these are intersecting with knowledge we have. 1, 2, 3, this cell is known from the freedom of constraints. 3, 2, 1, this cell is known. 2, 3, 1, this cell is known. So we're getting some things marked in to get us going. 1, 3, 2, we've actually marked in a cell that's going to come right off of this, which means this 1, 2, 3, this is the 3. The 2 has to work across this block of 3 cells and has to take this one. We don't know anything about which of these is the 1. But this 1, 2, 3 now coming in is going to take a 2 that now has to dodge these cells. And so the 2 has to be up here. The 3 is down there. That now means coming across this row, the 3, 2, 1 takes these 3, this 2, and one more cell. We don't know which yet. Marking this unused. This is the block of 3. This is the 2. One of these is the 1. In this column, we've marked off where the 1 is. So this will be 1, 2, 3. So really, it's after we've put in this, the constraints we were talking about, it's now just coming back through the grid and completing the rows where we know them. This is 2, 3, 1, for sure, based off what we have. We've got this 3 marked in. The 2 is going to have to take this cell. This 2, 3, 1 is now forced based off all the greens we have up top. This is marked off for the 2 by 2 rule, puts this in for the 3 by 3. This has to get connected into the rest of the grid, so it has to come through here, but that puts in this 3, puts in a 1. The only place for a 2 has to straddle away from this column, so it's got to come up here to not form a 2 by 2 group. That marks this in, so 1, 2, 3 can now just be completed. This group coming down for connectivity has to take this cell, come across here, take that cell. That puts in the group of size 2. We've got 1, 2, 3 marked in, so this for connectivity is going to come through here. We've got 1, 3, 2, so this isn't part of it, but this is, and these are to complete that group. So these are all done, coming across 3, 2, 1, like so. This is for not for 2 by 2, so this has to get shaded. We need to think about now maybe these late column clues. We actually finished this one. We need to get a group of 3, which can only be down here. We need to get as many as 3 different clue groups. So coming through this channel versus coming through this channel with this last shaded cell may have some limitations. We also still need to get a group of size 2 in the grid. That could be down here, it could be up here. But these clues are looking fairly constrained, and they're going to work alongside these row clues we haven't looked at. We do have this group of size 1, but we don't have a group of size 2, so this is going to be the group of size 2. We don't have a group of size 3, so that has to be here. Putting these in means that this bottom group connects like so. This now is all 3 groups specified. This is 1, 2, 3, but if this cell gets taken, we don't have 3 groups in that whole space. So this gets marked. This is the group of size 2, and this completes the puzzle. So a really good Tuesday level challenge. It started by really thinking through the ways you can fill in 6 cells across this whole space, knowing that in the 3 clues, there's 1 degree of, there are 2 degrees of freedom in the whole column, but that means there's 1 cell that's always specified. And marking in some of those forced cells from the 3s across the first 6 rows and columns got us a seed into the grid And then we had to work through these harder clues on the bottom and far right to get to the finish. But hopefully you got something through this video in terms of how to think through these puzzles and make progress, and we'll see you again soon.